Hi everyone. Now, when we're solving a question like this now with equivalencies, we've done before where this one was the complicated version, and then we kind of expanded, simplified to get the simplified version. But in this case, we don't have that. We have actually a simplified version, and we want to get a complicated version. So we kind of want to identify, well, what's going on, right? In this case, I have a quadratic. That's number one. And then I look at the solutions, right? Because they're not just asking me, okay, do this to the quadratic. They didn't tell me what they need. They just said find an equivalent. So then I need to figure out what is going on here. It looks like it takes the vertex form, right? So vertex form for quadratics looks like this. We have, let's say f of x is equal to x minus k squared plus h, right? Now, when I have this case, the vertex, and this is the form of it, the vertex itself, the vertex is k and h, right? It comes as negative k, and then you choose the positive. So it's k and h. That means that on an axis like this, I'm gonna just erase this because it's really bothering me that it's not straight. Okay, so on an axis like this, then you'd have let's say k, let's say this was the point, okay? So this is the point k and h. So then this is my k value, the x, and this is my h value, the y. And if it's a positive quadratic, then it's going up, okay? All right, so let's look at our situation over here. We want to find this k and h, right? So we already know that I mean, if I choose this A, then my vertex would be 4 and negative 11. But we're not going to keep trying guess and check and putting it in. So instead, we can just we can get the vertex form for this one. Now, there are two different ways to do it. There's the shortcut and there's completing the square. I prefer doing the shortcut when I'm doing MCQ because no one asked me to do completing the square, so I don't want to waste my time doing that. So instead, I'm going to use the shortcut and I'm going to say, you know what? So the first method is doing the shortcut, and then the second method is doing the completing the square. Okay, completing the square. And I can show you both, but I'm going to show you the shortcut first because I find it to be much quicker with MCQ, where I'm not asked to show my work. So shortcut, I'm going to say that the axis of symmetry, or this line that goes through the middle, right, or basically the k value, happens at b over negative 2a, okay? So remember, our quadratics take the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. And that's the A and B that I'm referring to. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to find that K value using this. So I'm going to say X is equal to, well, my B is negative 8. So I'm going to say negative 8 all over 2 multiplied by this imaginary one over there. So multiplied by negative 2 multiplied by 1. Well, that's just negative 8 divided by negative 2. That's just 4, right? Okay, so I look at that and I'm like, okay, so my vertex is 4. My vertex is going to be 4 and something, an h value that we don't know yet. So I can eliminate certain certain answers from the MCQ. We see that this is going to be negative 4. Remember, please do not get confused where it says, positive 4, and then you think, oh, that's my answer, because this is what we're keeping in mind over here, that it takes the original form of negative k. So for it to become positive k, or positive a number, that means that k in itself needed to be negative, okay? But we know that k itself in here is a positive 4, okay? So that means it's either this one or this one. We're going to kind of figure that out. We want to make sure whether h is going to be positive 11 or negative 11. Okay, so let's do that then. We're going to say, you know what? I'm going to take this 4. I'm going to take this x is equal to 4, sub it in, and see what my y value is, right? We know that the equation y is represented by x squared minus 8x plus 5. So then if I were to sub in 4, I'm going to get this y value, or this h value that we need, right? The y value at the vertexes are h. So we're going to say, you know what, at 4, so 4 all squared minus 8 multiplied by 4 plus 5. Okay, so Now we can simplify this further. We have 16 minus 8 times 4. What is that? All right, perfect. So 32 plus 5. Okay, I do like to kind of test your mental math. Make sure that you work on it because when you're doing these things, it's really nice when you can do it really quickly. Okay. All right, 32 minus 16, that's 16, but negative plus 5. So we have negative 11. There you go. We just found our H value. So the Y value at the vertex, or basically what we refer to as our H value, is negative 11. So we can choose the negative version. So this A value is our answer, okay? Not this one. All right. Now, the reason I know that is because H is not written as negative H in its original kind of vertex form. It is written as positive H. So then if I were to have a negative value for H, then it's just going to appear like this as a negative. Okay. All right. So we've just done this. Let's review our steps. So step one, so our steps. Step one is to identify, again, we've done this before, right? We always say identify the kind of equation we're working with, okay? Identify type of equation. We noticed it was a quadratic, right? Slash function. So we identified it as a quadratic, then we identified it as vertex. So quadratic and then vertex, okay? The second step was to identify which method is going to optimize my solution, because when we're solving for MCQs, we don't want to take the long route. We want to simplify our path to the answer as much as possible while still doing correct math. So identify, I'm going to say optimized solution. Okay. Now, if you forget this shortcut over here, whoopsies, sorry about that. If you forget this shortcut over here, not even all of that actually, just this one. That's okay, don't worry about it because you can always go back to completing the square, and I'll have another video on completing the square, okay? So identify optimized solution, then 3, find solution really, right? You're just gonna go along that solution, that optimized solution. And in our case, it was using the shortcut, finding the X value for our vertex, which we have as K and H. So we found our K and then we found the Y value or H, okay? By subbing the X value we found back into the equation. All right, I hope that helps. Try some more questions like these and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.